Result of this campaign. Actually, I use the word campaign, but it is not a campaign. I think this kind of communication, the word campaign doesn't apply anymore. Campaign used to describe how advertising worked, traditional advertising, when one side attack, the word campaign comes from the military, attack other people, us poor consumers, with their message, with their kind of way to brainwash our minds. But those ideas, I think the word campaign doesn't apply anymore. If anything, I would call it a project. So projects. The result of this project, 38 increase in sale and 35% increase in market share in a continent of more than 1 billion people. So you can imagine the greatness of the results. So what would you think is the pattern here? We saw three ideas, three projects which are apparently quite different. Different markets, different brands, different way to approach different messages at the end of the day. Yet there is something common in the structure of the project. And it's more than just involving people, it's more than just engaging people. I call this approach fight for a cause. And the idea is, instead of focusing on the brand, we create a cause. We, meaning the creators. And the cause doesn't exist out there. It's up to our creativity, to the insights that we have, to think what could be a possible cause. And then the brand, again, creates the initial platforms for people to engage with the cause. And actually, it is people who are fighting for the cause rather than the brand. The brand just suggest the cause and create the platforms. And then it is up to the people. People are not interested, at least not initially, with the brand. They are interested, if in anything, in their own life, and therefore the cause has to be related to their own life. And through the sympathy and the awareness that people has to the cause, it reflects back on the brand. And this is a kind of communication that you didn't see existing 5 years ago. We saw something else that comes from traditional marketing. It's cause-related marketing, but it is completely different. Because in cause-related marketing, the cause is given, and the brand just rides on the cause to make people believe that they are very human, and if they buy the specific brand, they help a certain cause, which can be very good. But here, the main difference is that the cause doesn't exist there in the beginning. It's up to us to invent the cause. And the cause can be serious or humoristic. All the cause-related marketing campaigns that we know are serious. Helping poor population in third world countries, finding a remedy for AIDS, not drink and drive. All the causes that we know, save the planet and so on, great causes, are always serious. Whereas in fight for a cause, the cause can be humoristic, not necessarily serious. The causes can be within a consensus. Everybody agrees that the roads are bad and we should fix them. But sometimes cause can be highly controversial. You wouldn't see controversial cause in cause-related marketing, but in this approach, why not? And sometimes even controversial causes like to shave or not, or welcome Snoop to Australia, can attract a lot of media attention and therefore increase awareness and participation in the cause and later on in the brand. And the causes can be real, like the Great Schlep, or like other grand winners here. We'll see them later on shortly. Or completely fictitious, like a campaign that won here 2 years ago for Baci Perugina from Italia. So I want to show you another interesting campaign or project that was done in Argentina 2 years ago. For Doritos. Doritos is a small brand in Argentina. It has less than 10% market share. The existing strategy and positioning of the brand prior to the campaign was about togetherness. Doritos create the situation where young target is 15 to 18 men and women, boys and girls, youth. Doritos create the situation for young people to come together. Still, they lacked some more interest in the brand, and sales were not very high. And they started to search through digital, what could possibly be a good insight to develop a new project for Doritos. And they find out something very interesting. We are all highly digitally connected. Mobile, social networks, everything. But this connection is more virtual than real, and when it comes to the crucial point of a young boy or youth want to have the first physical contact with a woman or vice versa, all the digital appliances we have are completely useless. It doesn't help you to make the first physical contact. And then they thought, well, how did the generation before the digital, what helped people to come together? Think, maybe not about yourself because you look rather young, but how your parents made it. Okay, anyway, and then that's a creative leap. They realized that at that time there was something that doesn't exist in this culture, which is slow dancing. Slow dancing was the perfect excuse for or opportunity to men and women have the first physical contact. Ask me, because I know 20 or 30 years ago, I think without slow dancing I would still stay virgin many years. So it works. It works. So what they did, I was very shy when I was young. My father still doesn't believe that I speak in front of so many people because I was very shy when I was young. And so they decided to create a movement to bring slow dancing back. Let's see that.
Doritos, a young brand in Argentina, wanted to consolidate as a youth referent. The goal would not be achieved with a product campaign. We had to appeal to the collective mood in a powerful manner by making a dream our own, a generational desire that hadn't yet been fulfilled, and help it become a reality. We carried out the only research possible to discover. During 5 months, we systematically surfed blogs, social networks, and webs. And we found what we were looking for. In Argentina, there was a deep desire in the youth that they were unable to express. What they wanted most, at the same time, was the hardest thing for them to achieve, to physically approach the person they liked. The places, the social rituals, the new technologies. Everything is currently programmed to eliminate physical contact. Encounters are more virtual than real. Idea. Everything arose from a simple question. How did the former generations do it? Simple. Slow dancing. Slow dancing allowed kids in a second to be held by the person they liked, when only moments before they were several feet away. We needed to bring slow dancing back. We needed to make discos play slow tracks again. We needed to lead the cause. Only possible if millennials made the cause their own. More than a campaign, our brand had the chance of generating a cultural movement. The action. A plan was designed with the goal of gathering as many signatures as we could to demand discos to play slow music again. The site bringslowdancingback.com collected signatures, becoming the center of the cause. We started developing a social engineering plan. We initiated the dialogue about slow dancing and announced the crusade in the places where kids usually find each other frantically without physical contact. The net, Sonico, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, and Taringa were the main activators. Then we launched a multimedia campaign to support and make the movement universal. An introductory TV spot declared slow dancing had to be back for everything to be easier. The following spots explained the benefits implied in the return of slow dancing. TV, radio, and activation actions directed traffic to the site where the kids could sign up. Surprisingly, the campaign benefited from an unplanned element that crowned the effort of PR 2.0's work, the proactive interaction of consumers. Only a few days after the crusade was initiated, consumers took over the cause and a movement started to grow on the internet. From a blog, two friends decided to organize a public party to celebrate and support the return of slow dancing. The idea was simple, getting together to slow dance around the largest mirror ball in Argentina, the planetarium. We were going from the online world to the offline world, from the net to the bodies. Thursday, March 20th, 7,000 people got together to slow dance at the planetarium for an hour, up to then considered the largest flash mob in Latin America. The most important TV channels broadcasted the event live, and the next day it was on the front cover of the most read newspapers in the country. Results? 502,000 signatures. 320 discos currently play slow tracks on a regular basis. 1 slow dancing digital radio station. 31 Facebook groups. 250 blogs picked up the subject. Doritos is today one of the 3 preferred brands of the youth. Slow dancing came back to the discos. They again became part of youth culture. Doritos brought them back.
Okay, so really strong results. Some of you may wonder, what is the connection between Doritos and slow dancing? It doesn't go very well together, we would think. But if you remember that their initial positioning was already togetherness, helping people to be together, then it really makes sense in the framework of that strategy. But this is a great example of a campaign which is much more than advertising. It's really changing something in people's life. So I want to go to another thing, just to show you briefly that in the last 3 years, Grand Prix winners here in Cannes, they were all Fight for a Cause, Times of India, Lead India campaign, the Great Schlep, and the Puma hard chorus last year. I want to move on to another pattern. I'll show you a few other examples. The first comes from Australia. This is a non-digital campaign, so some of you can relax. It still works. Ideas, not necessarily digital. The brand or the product is a meat pie, very classical Australian dish, eaten by men, workers at lunchtime. They love it, but the problem is that women, their wives, which usually buy the product, think it's not healthy enough. Contains nothing than minced meat conserved in a dough. So sales were slacking mainly because of women's attitude to it. And the agency decided to support the men, actually. And they came up with an idea, with an invention, technological invention they call it, the magic salad plate. The magic salad plate is just a plastic plate where the salad is printed on the plate. But when you eat it together with the pie, at least you have the impression that you're having a healthy lunch. And they launched it, with a TV spot.
Despite the fact it's been practically proven, a salad's useless. Some people, like the ladies, seem to think that you should at least look like you're trying. That's why we at 4 and 20 have developed this, the magic salad plate. To the untrained eye, it appears you're having a salad, but really it's just part of the plate. Here's how it works.
Look, Sue, those guys are having salad with their pies. Let's give them our phone numbers.
It's a scientific miracle. Have a lunch that's edible on a plate that's credible. The 4 and 20 magic salad plate.
Sold the magic salad plate in the supermarket next to the product, not together. And they sold more than 25,000 plates in the fortnight. And apart from this, sales of the original product increased in more than 40%. So it was very successful.